600 million years BC. This is where our particular story begins. The creature you're looking at here is the humble sea squirt. The sea squirt has evolved within itself the endocannabinoid receptor system to control how much water goes in and out of its siphon. The endocannabinoid system was only recently discovered in mammals in 1992 by Dr. Raphael Mechoulam, as well as researchers William Duvall and Dr. Lumahans. They discovered the first naturally occurring endogenous cannabinoid, or endocannabinoid, anandamide. Anandamide is a fatty acid neurotransmitter and was named from the Sanskrit word ananda, meaning joy or bliss. Previously, in 1963, Dr. Raphael Mechoulam discovered the structure of delta-9 THC, and in 1988, Dr. William Duvall discovered the protein receptor sites CB1 and CB2 in the brain and throughout the body.
Also, I was surprised at the amount of work that's currently being done and has been done on what's called the human endocannabinoid system. It may not be known that all humans produce cannabis, if you like, in their brain. It's a natural product called the endocannabinoid system. We produce cannabis-like compounds which have a profound effect on many aspects of our behaviour, on pain, on motor control, movement control, on growth and adaptability of the brain, potentially on cancer, on mood, on memory. It's a fascinating system.
And this is the largest neurotransmitter network in our body. That was only discovered in 1988, so it's relatively speaking a very recent knowledge. And the endocannabinoid system consists of receptors. There are two types of receptors identified so far. Receptors in the brain, in the immune system, in our guts, and then in most organs in the body. The receptors is the first element. The second elements are ligands, or microscopic amounts of chemicals or fats, oils or fats, which are called endocannabinoids. And the third element of the endocannabinoid system are enzymes. The enzymes are responsible for manufacturing the endocannabinoids in the first place, or helping with them to break down. So these three components working together are the endocannabinoid system. And the reason it's called the endocannabinoid system is because these cannabinoids, these endocannabinoids, are remarkably similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're remarkably similar to the cannabinoids that you find in the cannabis plant.
Anandamide fits the CB1 and CB2 receptor sites like a key in a lock. As well as being a mood enhancer, anandamide helps control height, weight, and reproduction, amongst other things in the body. Leaving the sea squirt behind, we move forward 566 million years in time to 34 million years BC. Here, in the mountains of Kazakhstan, the cannabis plant has evolved from Humulus lupulus, or more commonly known as the hops plant, the flower of which is still used to this day in the brewing process for beer. Evolving at such high elevation presented the plant with many unique environmental pressures. To better survive the high UV radiation levels, low oxygen, and increased predators, cannabinoids such as THC were used to retain water, reflect sunlight, and ward off predators. Tetrahydrocannabinoid, or THC, is the most famous cannabinoid and the one responsible for the plant's psychoactive effect. THC was discovered by Dr. Raphael Mechoulam in the 1960s by separating the compounds of the plant and testing each individually on animals and then humans. Noticing that only one gave a sedative effect, Mechoulam discovered the psychoactive compound responsible for the marijuana high. The naturally occurring chemical compound, THC, found in the cannabis plant, has a different chemical makeup but fits the CB1 and CB2 receptor sites perfectly, magnifying the mood-enhancing effect normally caused by indigenous cannabinoids such as anandamide. It is not just anandamide and THC that act on these receptors. There are many other cannabinoids and endocannabinoids that act directly or indirectly, such as 2-AG, CBD, CNB, and THCA, amongst others, and each has a different effect on the body.
So the cannabis plant, and the reason the cannabis plant has a therapeutic response in living organisms, has a physiological impact on users, creates an emotional response, has to do with the fact that it has multiple unique biologically and physiologically active compounds in the plant. The two most prevalent compounds that we find in the cannabis plant are tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, the other being CBD, cannabidiol. Now, they are far from the only active constituents in the marijuana plant, but again, they're the ones that we find most prevalent in the plant.
Over the next 34 million years, man will evolve from primates, and nearly 99% of all species that ever existed have been wiped out. 8,000 years BC, the plant has gone through many changes, and a relatively new species, roughly 250,000 years old, has become the top predator and the first to drastically manipulate its environment through thought, desire, and determination. A major leap forward will be the agriculture of crops. This will lead to an explosion in technology, the ability for humans to live in groups larger than 150, and is the basis of modern civilization. For now, we are in an ancient village located in an area of modern-day Taiwan.